they sound like concepts that are big, and on the one hand, pretty easy. We talk all the time, somebody's listening part of the time, but what makes this so hard to be effective and particularly meaningful?
Well, I think if you look at the challenge in communication, I think there's several aspects to it. One of it is, as you say, it's a very ordinary topic. We're all doing it all the time. And anything that becomes that ordinary can also become trivialized. People take it for granted. They stop exploring it. They stop learning about it. We've talked to people all over the world. You know, we've worked with 250,000 people in 90 countries. And we ask people all the time, how many of you would say that you are a substantially more effective communicator this year than last? Let's just say the amount of time somebody raises a hand is very, very small. So we think that the challenge is first, keep it as an open investigation rather than, oh yeah, communication, we all do that. If you can do that, then the next challenge is investigating how my conduct actually affects the quality of connectivity all around me. How can I treat myself as a powerful leverage point for actually causing people to be smarter together than separately, causing co-creation, resolving conflict. There's so many things that people can look to themselves for, but we find in this thoughtless, ordinary view of communication, people tend to have an assumption that they're actually fine, but could you help me fix some of these other people around me? An example of that is when we work in a lot of companies that ask us to do leadership development about how to manage communication as an asset in businesses. A lot of the people from the learning organization want to do a pre and post assessment. And we say, well, what's your intention? They say, well, at the end, we want them to be able to say that they're much stronger. And we say, that'll work in any place except about listening. Because we find that if we do our job, people think they're way better listeners at the beginning of a program than at the end. They now see it's a world that's been taken for granted and that there's all sorts of things to notice and do differently that never would have occurred to them. So people often assess themselves worse as a listener, however, with a course of action to become way better. I think the challenge of people taking on the ordinary as an opportunity for extraordinary learning is fundamental to communication.